This is Justin AMZN on Monday, July 30th, 2018. We got a look at the pre-market here, which is really range bound. It's got kind of a high right in here around 1828, 1827, definitely under 1830. Kind of corresponds to this pivot here, and then couldn't quite get up that high yesterday or on Friday. And then the low in here is around 1820. So the nice tight range here, a little bit of a sideways channel, and this whole area was where people were selling on Friday. Buying here, and then it broke out or broke down, and then it was being sold here. It was being sold here. So this whole range was being sold yesterday, and that's why I'm expecting today that it's going to continue to sell from here, and at least come down into 1815. And probably go further because it's just so bearish selling off from here. I mean, it's an all-time high. It gapped up to an all-time high. It sold off all of yesterday or all of Friday. It should probably continue. I mean, if it comes up into the 1841 price, it'll definitely sell off from there. But it'd be great for it to sell off anywhere in here. And if it breaks down, or if or when it breaks down below the 1815, you can take a bearish there and wait for a retest to come back up into this area, 1815, or any of these lows through here, just like it retested here and sold off, and then here, and so retesting a previous pivot. So that's what I'm looking for today. We'll step in the market, immediately get a sell-off candle. It's right from this area. It opened right there at the 1828 price, ran up slightly, not even up to 1830, 1829.50 is the price, and then sold off hard. And I didn't look at a 1 minute to see what that was doing, but the 5 minute, obviously very bearish. I think this is shaved bottom, really close to a shaved bottom. At this level, you could get in going bearish here with a stop up here. It's around, what is that, $15? That's pretty wide. With options, maybe get into something. But we'll do the option price in just a little bit. Anyway, very, very large candle selling off, and the very next one pulled us all the way down into the lower end of this channel, which is a phenomenal move so quickly. We were up here, broke down, retested, double retest, and then instead of making it all the way down there on the same day, now it went sideways and then rolled down there the rest of the way today. So that's this uptrend channel that I've got in the daily that just continues to work. We just keep seeing it get back into this range. So we'll see what happens the rest of the day. Do we bounce here? Do we roll through it some more? We actually push down below it, put in a hammer, look like we're going to drop some more, and then get bought up and come right back up into 1815. When I saw this, it's like, okay, go bearish again right here. That's what I was thinking. It's like this value. Now we're retesting from below. Look how well it held yesterday. We broke down easily. This is a great place to short it again. So again, 1815 by 1830, $15. It already showed it could run quite a bit further. I mean, this would have been 2R with just the shares. With the options, could be something much more significant. So anyway, this is where I would be shorting again, right at 1815. And it started to roll over there and came back up, and then a second chance right here, the high as 1815. So you could have gotten in right here with a stop right here on options, on the shares, whatever, and that would have been a massive move. Even just within this candle, coming down here, it's going sideways, throwing some wicks in, thinking, okay, people are thinking, okay, that was it, quick sell-off, now we're consolidating, now we're going to go higher. That's what these candles look like. And instead, we just continue to pull back down. So get a bit of a stair step in this level, the lower end of this channel. And we broke through it once, could break through it again, come back down to the low of the day. See what we end up doing, some dancing around on the value there. Looks like we've got just a little bit here of a longer stair step It's starting to just drift a little bit lower, and there it goes. Now it's going down, breaks. So this is the candle that actually broke through the low of the day. This one actually was holding it, looks like, and then this one broke through all the way down into the 1760s, which it's been a while since we've seen that during the market hours. Put in a bit of a double bottom here. It's really interesting because the next value, I think, is down around 1740. I'd have to go look at the daily again to see how much lower, but much wider opening here to drift through. And so right here, it's looking like it's pivoting. So I haven't looked left to see what else is going on in this area, but it's worth doing. And so this, double bottoms, retest the neckline, comes back up into the 21 exponential, comes right back up into the low of the day. And this is where a lot of people are thinking, oh, it's just going to roll over from here. And it starts to, and then it takes out that high. So if anybody was getting in bearish, this by this, so trigger here, they're in, stop up here, they just got stopped out because this is just too obvious of a place for it to roll over. So then it comes up here. It's like, okay, we pushed through the low of the day. We got a nice inverted hammer. This is where we really should roll over. And it just does a 15-minute stair step, then actually starts to break down. Actually, 15-minute stair step, separate, 10-minute stair step, really small candles, and then breaks down, trapping anybody who was going bearish here, trapping the people who had gone bearish here with getting them stopped out. Now it's starting to go another 10-minute stair step. It's just like see stair step, 15-minute, 20-minute, 25, 30. Look at this, these stair steps. So this is probably 45 minutes or something. I don't know, count. I wasn't really counting. I'm just clicking. And it just does that to the end of the day. So let me take a quick look and see this low here. What was that? Oh, there you go. Pretty close to this, 1763.10. Today's low is 1766.02. Not quite there, but that's a previous all-time high. I think that was a previous all-time high. Yeah, I just don't have it marked that way. I had these lower values. But anyway, what I'm noticing is that I don't have any values in here. It moved very quickly through this. It held it here with the 21 exponential below. We've come right back down. I guess that's the closest thing. 1769.99. 1769.99. So that's really close to there. We've really had only 3 prices move through this range. I think there's still, let's see, what's the low on this one? No, I was going to say maybe it's never traded through our price, but it has. This one and this one overlap this price. So the open here, 1764.51. And then the low here is 1766.02. So I'm just looking for a value that's really spot on and close, but I'm not seeing one exact or that super close. But I'm not sure the reason we paused here. So it's probably a similar place to why we pulled back to this level on that hammer into this range. We're seeing this uptrend channel break down. We may retest back up to it, but not a guarantee. We retested up to it, or we kind of used it as a bit of a neckline here, and then we didn't even get a retest back up to it down here. We stair-stepped on it. We went sideways on it through here, then broke down. This was a great place for this to break down. Look at this. Look at these candles. Inside candle. Let's see, is that inside? Comparing the low. Yeah, inside candle, then breaks down. I mean, that could have been easily, go bearish here, stop up here. And that could have worked. Had you tried that, say here, gone bearish, may have been stopped out, may have still been in. If you had gone bearish out of the breakdown of this triangle, hopefully you got in as it moved pretty quickly and then made an indecision candle right here and then just went sideways and then broke down. So hopefully there was some bearish money to be made here. And if we zoom back out, see if this is going to zoom back out. There we go. We're right smack dab in the middle, right here, between this line and this line. And it was 1747. 1747. Okay, so 1747 is the next price down here that we could come back down to and have some sort of support. That line came from something going on here, and I have to look back at that. So we'll see if it does better interacting with closes. The close on this was right about at 17.50 and 8 cents. So maybe that's something we button up the value a little bit more, a little bit closer to that whole number, but it's the market. It doesn't have to work in whole numbers. Anyway, let's zoom back in on the day. We can see, okay, quick sell-off. Maybe you had a chance to buy puts right in here on this candle. If you did, what's really interesting, so on the puts, I'm looking at yesterday's chart and today's. So the puts actually opened up around the 18.28 price. And so the puts were actually worth somewhere in here between the $6 and $8 range. And I don't know how quickly it moved, but then the very next 5 minute, the low was below 10. You could have gotten into this 10 by 9. Where's the 9? 10 by 9, which is really similar to this higher base we put in on Friday. So we came close to it, broke through it, came back, and all the while we're holding this value of, this 950, 10, somewhere in here. And so, okay, get in here at 10 with a stop at 9. That would have worked. Could have doubled that up to 20, maybe more conservatively. Maybe you were worried, and all of a sudden you saw this spike up and you didn't want to lose it, so you got out at 16. Maybe got out at 16. So you wrote it up from 10 to 16. That's $600. That's 6R. That's phenomenal. You could have done the exact same thing again. Could have gotten it at 10, stop at 9, and just let this one run. This would have run up to 28. I would have been exiting probably about 20, where this high was here. So that would have been a double again. And then I would like to say I wouldn't have been chasing, but I may have been trying to enter something. It's like, I shouldn't have gotten out at 20. Let me get in at 22 here on this candle and get out at 28, maybe. And then probably would have been looking at this saying, okay, when am I going to get in here? We're already through that high. What else is making sense in here? How this is trading, and maybe seeing a stair step here that I could get in on the low end of that stair step. That'd be like 16, and maybe still would have missed it because the low here was 16.59. So I probably would have missed some of this later in the day. I just didn't see very much decisive action, decisive movement. Most of that was gobbled up early in the day with some of these moves here. So, and then the calls pretty much went sideways. There was a little bit of buying in the calls when I was on pulled back a little bit. So you could have bought here at, let's say 12. It's a little bit, yeah. So 12, maybe 12.50 by 11, and rode that up maybe to 15, 15.50, 16, something like that. So a couple are, not something to balk at, but it would have just been a lot of chop. You wanted to see it get going, but that's what it did here. It really rallied, and just had a little bit of a different personality on the puts than the calls and what's going on here. So we come back in here, we see how the calls really moved very closely to this, and then just lost a bunch of premium here. And the bears, you can see, wow, they not only pushed it lower for 15 minutes. As it got bought up, it started getting sold off. And let's see, here's 20 minutes of selling, 25 minutes of selling. There's still some green here. There's still some opportunities for people to buy. And we just want to be on the sides of the trades where we've mitigated our risk and make some money. So let's see, come back into the daily. Where does it go from here? I would not mind to see a retest tomorrow. Come back up into 1815 again if it could, or at least come up to 1808, this price range here for the lower end of the channel. It's possible to have a roll over there, possible to have a roll over up at 1815. But then to me, it's a little more bearish than bullish. There's a lot of bearishness up here. It makes sense if we pull back a little more. It makes sense. I'm not saying it has to happen, because let's just say we have a gap up above the all-time high for tomorrow, and this is gone. This will shoot up to 2000 in no time, maybe beyond that. With all these sellers trapped, I don't know. That's why I like to day trade. Too easy to get caught up in trade. I mean, you can still do a day trading, but the opportunities there are much more prevalent on swing trades. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is just an Amazon, and we'll continue to track the movement here, especially in relationship to this uptrend channel. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks.